Happy Sunday, everyone. You're watching It's All Legal 2, and I'm your host, Janine Hovell-Cox. And we are here today for another episode of Sunday Sessions. We have a great show in store for you guys this evening. We are going to talk about knowing your rights. And we have with us this evening as our special guest, my sister in the law, world-renowned criminal defense attorney, Dawn M. Florio. So while we're waiting for Dawn to come on, and we're going to wait for some more followers to come in, I just want to say I hope you all are having a blessed and happy day. I'm actually here in Houston, Texas, and we have some tropical weather that's supposed to be coming our way. So for all of our viewers along the Gulf Coast area of Texas and Louisiana, I'm praying that you guys stay safe and be prepared. So I'm just going to give acknowledgement and some shout outs to our viewers that are now coming in. So we have Light Eyes Jen. Hello, welcome. Miss Aurora G, my girl, and the beautiful woman who's responsible for connecting myself and my guests tonight. I am Aurora G. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have official Mark MK. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We have T. Malay joining us, and thank you so much, T, for the promotion. I do appreciate you and your support. Thank you. Vacation Mike 18 has joined in, and we have, let's see, who else? Blessings to you. We have a great show. We are going to talk about, some really interesting topics. We just unfortunately lost an icon in the legal world, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who passed away from cancer yesterday at the age of 87. She did a lot for this country as far as trying to ensure that women have equal rights as far as pay, being able to join the military, and she was famous for her dissents on some very, very important cases in this country. So we are definitely going to be paying homage to Justice Ginsburg. We also have Radar Radio USA who joined in. Hey, Mike, thank you. That is my editor extraordinaire who is responsible for that dope promo that you guys have been seeing. So thank you, Mike, for your editing magic. Thank you for joining me this evening. Let's see, we have Prekin Babe or BX Boss Babe. I'm sorry if I messed it up, but thank you so much for joining us. Brim 59595, welcome. Come on in, you all. We're just waiting on our guest to Ms. Dawn M. Florio to come in and join us. We have an awesome show that's going to be for you guys, and it's just, I can't wait. I'm excited, and I'm kind of nervous, actually. I had the pleasure of interviewing Dawn a few months ago, and this woman is just such a beautiful person inside out, and don't let her beautiful looks fool you. She is a beast in the courtroom, and I believe that's how she got her name, Pretty Pit Bull Attorney. So, and I see her. I think that is her. She is about to come in and join us. So let me bring our guest for the evening, Dawn M. Florio, in, everyone. The woman of the hour. Here she comes.
Hi.
There she is. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, I love you.
I love you back.
Well, let me tell you something. Don't be nervous, because you know how we are. Like, we always want to be, the most perfect attorney that we can be. And let me tell you something. It is so difficult to actually answer questions. We're so used to being, like out there, like interrogating people. So it's very, very, it's very, very hard to just answer questions. But I'm excited. And my dream was always to interview you. So I might throw in a couple of questions. So it's going to be exciting.
Yes, please do, because we talked about that yesterday. I'm like,
Yes.
anytime, anytime. Well, I'm just going to give our viewers a little bit of background about you, my dear. So, everyone, this is Dawn M. Florio. She is a world-renowned criminal defense attorney whose practice is located in New York City. She's been practicing for over 30 years, received her undergrad degree from Boston University, and she received her law degree from St. John's.
That's right.
Oh, all right. I'm on track with it, you guys. So she started out her career as an assistant district attorney with the Bronx DA's office. And then she went on to form her own practice. And I mean, she doesn't deal with your traffic tickets, you guys. We're talking about hardcore, in-depth, complex criminal litigation, such as RICO violations, murder, money laundering. I'm gonna let you fill in the blanks for what I for what I don't know or can't remember right offhand. But I mean, this woman is just phenomenal. I tell her all the time that I want to be like her when I grow up, even though we're the same age. But I mean, she just inspires me. I've been following her on social media now for a few months, and it just seems like she is loved by so many people. And I know that she's loved by her clients because she puts her heart and soul into what she does. So, Dawn, thank you so much for joining me yet again here. Well, for the first time on my platform. But thank you so much.
And I love how you call us sisters in the law.
We are sisters in the law. We absolutely are, definitely.
And the only thing that separates us is that you're in Houston, right?
That's right.
And I'm in New York City. But I just feel that energy that you have, and I feel that we're always connected.
We are and I'm just inspired by you. I mean, I always say that, geez, your dress, your spirit is just so beautiful and awesome. Like, I call you the fashionista. I'm like, I mean, you inspire me. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. And Janine, really what it is as an attorney, so many people are used to attorneys being very boring, with no personality, wearing the gray or the blue pin suits all the time. And when I first started as a prosecutor, that's what I used to dress. But as you get older and as you get more comfortable in your own skin, you have to develop your own brand, your own style. So that's what I try to do. Like, I always try to inspire women to really feel confident and to dress the way they feel comfortable, and to basically, you have to establish who you are, your identity, and you have to brand yourself.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's what this platform is all about, just empowering women to be their true, authentic selves. And I know that you do that on a daily basis.
And we both have the red lipstick on.
And we both have the red lipstick. Yes, we do. All right. Well, we are just going to jump right on into our discussion for this evening, which is knowing your rights. So, we have all witnessed, the tragic events that have been going on basically since the beginning of this year, with the unfortunate passings of so many unarmed African-American men and women, unfortunately, at the hands of police. So I thought that, this probably would be a perfect topic for you and I to discuss, being that you are a criminal defense attorney, is what are our rights if we should ever get pulled over by the police, if we should have a search warrant, and hopefully this never happens, but, if a search warrant happens to be served on us. And most importantly, I would love for you and appreciate if you would stress the importance of being careful about what you post on social media or just putting out there on the internet, and how that could be used against you at some point. So I just want to jump right in. And I've been pulled over before, unfortunately, because there was no really valid reason why I was, but I complied with the officer's request. But what are our rights if we were to get pulled over while we're driving?
Okay, so first off, the police need some kind of reasonable suspicion to pull a car over. For example, a traffic infraction, or if you're committing a moving violation. So a lot of times police pull people over and they call it driving while black. You know,
Right.
our young men and women who are of color, they just get pulled over randomly because they just suspect, you know, something, drugs or guns are in the car. So a lot of times police use pretext for pulling people over. So basically, once you're pulled over, you have to know your rights. So you have to give over your license, your registration, your insurance card. So always have them handy. Do not be digging, you know, into your pockets. Do not be digging into the glove compartment. So what I suggest is, you know, just be very pleasant to the police when they pull you over, because it just raises suspicions if you are acting nervous. Well, of course, if a police officer is following me, right, and I'm not even doing anything wrong, I'm going to be nervous because I don't want the inconvenience to be stopped. Why are they stopping me? Are they going to search my car? All these things are going through our heads. So just normally we're nervous. But if police officers see you like looking around, they automatically think that you have something to hide. Okay,
Right.
sometimes we're just curious. So what I suggest is like to you know, just to like, you know, try to be calm as you can, comply with their requests. But remember, you don't have to answer any of their questions. You just have to provide your identification, and if they ask you, can they search your car? Say no. Okay, if they ask you, do you have anything on you? I do not have anything on you. A lot of times people get scared, even if they have a small amount of marijuana on them, okay?
Right.
They'll turn it over. Yes, don't say anything. You have a constitutional right to remain silent. You do not want to tell on yourself. You do not want to incriminate yourself. So the thing that you need to concentrate on is just to stay calm, hand over your license, your registration, and your insurance, and just, you know, just go with the flow. But a lot of times people will, and whatever you do not smoke marijuana in the car, because if you smoke marijuana in the car, that will give them probable cause to not only search the whole compartment of the car, but also your trunk, right, your glove compartment. So and be careful what's in plain view. Do not have anything illegal in plain view. So,
right.
But
what about hand positions? Like you said, don't start digging. Should your hands be on the steering wheel?
Right. So what I do is I have in my car all my documents, like, right. And I tell the officer, even though that I'm a white girl, you know, I'm not doing anything wrong, I don't have anything in the car, I just let them know if I need to go in my bag. I say, officer, is it okay? Can I go in my bag? Officer, my documents are right like above. Can I go get them? And when you do that, it puts them at ease too, because no one wants to get shot. No one wants to get shot.
No.
And it's very, very scary. So sometimes I instruct like my clients who are young and who are, you know, sometimes live in bad areas, just to like, sometimes you say, you know, to like put their hands so the officers can see them. Like if you start digging in your pockets, or if you start going down, they're going to think that you have a gun. So you have to be very, very careful of your hand movements as well.
Okay. I mean, that's all great information to know about the fact that you don't have to answer any officer's questions.
Not at all. And it's, you know what, it's really sad, because the people who know their rights are the people who've gotten in trouble before, but it's people who, like, their first time ever like encountering police or being questioned or being arrested, those are the people who give statements. So it's so important to know that you have a right to remain silent. In fact, I have, like, on my business card, I don't know if you can see it, but on the back I have a section where it's know your rights, and they're very, very simple.
And can you hold it up a little closer to the camera?
So this is my business card in the front. In the back, it's like, know your rights.
That's genius.
And it simply says, like, if you are arrested, ask for your lawyer. Do not talk to the police or any prosecutor or district attorney or any government official. Do not write or sign any statement. That's number one. Number two, do not give permission for or consent to a search of your person, belongings, or your home. If you are on parole or if you are on probation, if you are on parole or post-release supervision, do not waive or give up your right to a preliminary hearing. And although not required by law, carrying proper ID with your name and date of birth can help with police encounters, and phone calls from jails are recorded. Do not speak about your case with anyone other than your lawyer. So those are just basic rights that a lot of people aren't even aware of. So I always, when I hand out my card, just to educate people, I always give them the card with the rights on the back.
With the rights on the back. I mean, and that, like I said, that's genius. I mean, that's, one of the reasons why I wanted to have this discussion today, because unfortunately, a lot of people don't know what their rights are. And it's important that we know, with the, like I said, with the tragic state of events that have, continuously, it seems like, gone on week after week, since 2020. I mean, it's just gotten out of control with the way that police officers are treating, especially African-American unarmed individuals. And I don't know about up in New York, but I know that I guess down here in Texas, we are calling for police reform, and I'm sure that they are. I've been, I follow all different, types of accounts on Instagram and social media. I read the news on a daily basis. I know they're calling for police reform, especially with NYPD. Mm-hmm. Do you have any additional information about, what's going on with possible police reform in New York City?
So, we have the Criminal Justice Reform Act where you have to turn over like all your discovery. But with the pandemic, everything stopped. There was no speedy trial. There was no turning over of discovery. So we had a system that was so backed up. I don't know how we're ever going to get back to normal with the pandemic. Right. And what I've seen over the course of the pandemic was an increase in violence, an increase in shootings. I've never been as busy in my whole life as I was during the pandemic. There was a lot of gun arrests. People police pulling over cars, searching people without any reasonable suspicion or probable cause. And
right.
So have so many new gun cases. Of course, domestic violence cases have erupted because now you're in close quarters with your spouse, right? And you want a divorce. You can't stand being around in close quarters because remember, we weren't allowed to go outside, So there has been a lot of talk about reform, but practically it's just has set us back because all those rights that we were getting before have been, on pause.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. Like the court system is just so backed up, and it's across the country because especially with trials, I mean, those have to be held in person because you have a jury that has to be present as well. And that just wasn't able to happen. And I think that I posted on my Instagram account a few weeks ago about Justice of the Peace Court in Texas. I think it was somewhere up in maybe the San Antonio, Austin area. I can't remember, who conducted the very first jury trial in the United States. So I need to follow up and see, what happened with that, if they were able to accomplish the goal of having a trial.
How do you feel about doing a trial like virtually? Like you can't see the witnesses, you can't. It's like you can't feel people's energy when you're on Zoom.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like you can't take a temperature, quote unquote, of your jury panel. You can't get a feeling, like you said, the energy, I don't think it's gonna, I hope that we don't stay with Zoom trials. I just don't see how that's gonna work. Especially with the presentation of evidence. I mean, I'm quite honestly, I'm over Zoom meetings. I've had to do Zoom court hearings, because that's what we've had to do. I mean, just simple motion hearings, but I'm over it. Like, I'm ready to get back in the courtroom.
We started in New York with in-person appearances, but it's not like it was before. So, like before, when you would get arrested and you'd have to go for your court proceedings, you could wait from 9:30 all the way to the afternoon, even if your lawyer was there, because the courts was so jam-packed. But now,
Right.
because of COVID, the only good thing is it's like federal court, like you have a time certain. So because only the lawyers and the client are allowed in the courtroom, and it's only for a specific time. So that's like one benefit of just the pandemic, is that you're in and out in court and you have a set time. And then, you know, the judge has, you know, he has, you know, the complete, you know, audience, which is just you and your client, and he's totally focused on your case, which is, I guess, is a very good thing.
That is, you know, even though you're right, because it seems like you get through the docket a little bit quicker with Zoom. So that's been the one good thing about it. But I'm ready to get back when it's safe. Let me just put that out there.
Yeah.
So we have a question real quick from Expert Samala. It says, do you take all types of drug cases?
Yes. Basically, I take whatever my client pays me for. It could be the littlest case or the biggest case. I take those types of cases. So I can practice in New York, New Jersey. I do state and federal. But the good thing about being a private attorney is I can decline certain cases. For example, I don't like to do cases involving, you know, children, you know,
Right.
you know, exploitation of children, and also like some rape cases. Like I won't take. But that's just a personal preference of mine. But otherwise, I do from the littlest to the biggest case.
What has been your most difficult case as far as criminal representation?
So, I mean, they're all difficult, Janine.
Right.
But none of them is easy. None of them are easy. Even cases where the evidence is very much in our favor, it puts even more pressure on you.
Right.
One of the cases that was like very difficult, I had to go through just on a personal level, was the Daniel Hernandez case, the Tekashi 6ix9ine case.
Right.
And I say that for simply the fact that, you know, it was a very, very kind of interesting kind of energy that was, so some people were really against him, you know, because they called him a cooperator, a snitch, a rat.
Right.
So that was very difficult because I deal with a lot of like gangbangers. I deal with a lot of, even after his case, I deal with a lot of people that are in gangs, like not that particular gang, but other blood gangs. So
Right.
as a criminal defense attorney, people were like, why are you representing someone like that? But I think people don't understand that as a lawyer, you have to present all the options to your client. And it's up to the client to decide, and cooperating is a very, very personal decision. So
Right.
anybody who I would say that would be in his position, they can say all that they want, that, oh, I would never snitch, but people don't really understand what he had to go through. And I saw from a personal level, because I also was a target of the 9 Trey blood members, because I was threatened as well before he even got arrested. So I understand.
Well, that was going to be another question that I had, because I know that, you know, he had death threats against him, and apparently he still does. I watched an interview that he did with Lisa Evers with
right.
Street. Right.
Right.
And, you know, he was talking about that in his interview. So, I mean, I was thinking, well, you know, my ex-husband used to do criminal defense. He still does. And I mean, he used to talk about the fact that, you know, he would receive death threats. And I would that's one of the questions that I was going to ask you.
So basically, even before Dan, I call him Danny, like Daniel Hernandez. I don't call him 6ix9ine.
Right.
So even before Danny had gotten arrested and decided to cooperate, I saw firsthand how he was being manipulated, how he was, you know, how they were stealing millions of dollars, that whole 9 Trey gang, you know, personally. And there was a particular situation. I'm not going to name the person, but that person was doing a lot of time in jail. But myself and my best friend, Chrissy Monroe, we were actually doing a video for Danny for his other New York State case. And one of that 9 Trey member didn't want me on the legal team because they couldn't control me, and they thought I would have a bad influence on Danny, telling him to get away. And that's what I was trying to do, to get him away from, that gang because they were exploiting him. So we were
Right.
sitting there, and I'm not going to get into the specifics, but me and my best friend were
Right.
sitting there, and this gang member who told me to stay away from Danny, which I did not listen to because that's my client.
Right.
He threatened me, and he threatened my friend. But we didn't, abandon the case. But yes, I could see firsthand how he had to go through everything he went through. And I can say 100%, I am very proud of him for what he did. I don't care what other, people in the music industry have to say, because they're like, oh, he should be blacklisted or blackballed, which he is being now because of his music. But I'm very
Right.
proud of everything he did, and he's very comfortable with it. And I think that says volumes that, people just really don't understand, or they do understand, but they don't care. They just
Right.
want to
I
label
mean, you
people a
can't walk in
rabble.
somebody's shoes unless you're in those shoes.
100%. No one knew what was going on, that how he was being like, taken advantage of every which way. Like he was like the cash money cow, right? And then
Right.
how one of the gang members were sleeping with his child's mother, and how he got kidnapped and beat up, and never said anything. So, it's very difficult for someone. And I think he said it perfectly in the interview with Lisa Evers, like, if they were trying to kill me when I was outside, what would they have done to me in jail? And
In
I think
jail.
that spoke volumes. That spoke volumes.
Absolutely, because people don't realize that you are subject to as much harm in prison as you are out walking around in the streets. And you have to be able to live your life free of fear. So
Right.
in your heart, if your
Mhm.
clients know that they're doing the right thing and you believe your clients and you're advocating for your clients, because that's what we're hired to do. We are hired to advocate for our clients. And like you said, to give them the best legal advice that we can give them. Now, whether or not they take it or not, is up to them. But it's our job to present all of the options and try to tell them what their best outcome is going to be at the end of the day.
And I know a lot of people thought when Danny came home that he would just be, tucked away, in a secret location. But look what he's doing. Like he wanted to prove to the world that, that nothing was going to let, him be stopped. So
Right.
of course, he has security. And that's what we have to talk about too, Janine, is that all these young rappers are getting killed. They're getting murdered, like Pop Smoke, like it's just,
Exactly.
and the reality is that any young individual that's wearing a lot of jewelry, has a lot of money, they're targets, especially during this pandemic area where people are hungry, they're thirsty, they have no money. Everyone that has money is a target. So you need bodyguards to walk around with, because if you don't, you're going to get killed.
And I mean, it's really a sad state of affairs. It really is. I mean, you have this talent that you want to share with the world, but yet you have to walk around, like you said, with bodyguards and in security, just because of, other people's jealousy or whatever you want to call it.
No, you hit it right on the
It's
head.
sad.
It's jealousy, and people don't want to work for, their success. They just see the final outcome, but they don't know like what you have to put into it on a day-by-day basis. Even you as a lawyer, Janine, like that, they see the finished product. They see us like winning cases. They see us doing all these great settlements, but they don't know all the hours that we
have to put in
and the sleepless nights.
Exactly. I mean, we literally can go 12, 15, 17 hours. I mean, it's hard work. I mean, this is not easy, and it's extremely, extremely stressful. I mean,
Right.
We're sitting over here trying to solve all of our, clients' problems. And at the end of the day, we're probably neglecting ourselves the most.
No, it's true, because, as, we're the problem solvers, right? So
Yes.
Anybody that you come encounter with, like, they're like, okay, you're a lawyer. I have this problem. I have this problem. And it's, it's like, sometimes you just want to like, take a break and say, you know what, like I need to have that energy, because when you have to perform, you have to be at your best. And a lot of times, when you just take in all these problems, it sort of drains you. So you have to make sure you have to make sure that you protect your energy and surround yourself with positive people. That's why I love, you know, your energy, and I love being around you, Janine.
Same here, Dawn. I mean, like, honestly, I mean, and just real quick, I mean, I know myself. I know I have represented clients and still represent clients whose cases may be over, but I mean, we are still great friends, like, to this day. You know, just from you, it looks like you have a couple of your clients on here too. It's like you form bonds with these people. I mean, because I don't know about you, but I mean, I take my clients, you know, cases personally. I don't know why I do, but I do, because you want to do the best job you can. So do you find yourself still being, you know, basically in touch with your former clients, forming friendships with them?
Absolutely. You like myself, we're very passionate people, and we don't do this job for the money, obviously. Okay. We do it because we want to like impact one life at a time, and then like a bigger, you know, impact for the world. And we want to do, you know, we want to have reforms. We want to make things better in the criminal justice
Right.
system. But yes, absolutely. I really try, especially my young clients. I want to give them like a second chance. I also want to
Right.
counsel them like, listen, everyone makes mistakes. You know, just because you have your past, you shouldn't let your past be a life sentence. So what I try to do is I try to get my clients who say are drug dealers, okay? I try to give them opportunities where they can, you know, do something legitimate, use their, and a lot of my clients are very smart. They just never had the opportunity or never had a mentor. So I try to be a mentor to a lot of my young clients, and especially
Exactly.
women, to empower them that they can do anything they want to do. Because I know
Absolutely.
when we went to law school, okay, things were very different. There was like 50% women, 50% men. But I remember my aunt, who was she just retired not too long ago. She was an appellate division judge, Anita Florio. When she went to law school, there was only two women in her law school class. So times have
Wow.
changed a lot, but
They have.
we're still affected by that gender bias. We're still affected by, you know, that, you know, this is traditionally the law, and especially being a criminal defense attorney, it's traditionally a man's world. So when you have a powerful woman
Yep.
that's going in there, you know, to fight, you know, they call me like, you know, the beast from the east, you know, the
Yes.
Phoenix Hippo, right? That's
Right.
because I go hard. I really are very aggressive, fighting for my clients' rights, making sure that the Constitution is upheld, and really, like you said, you know, vigorously defending your client. And we don't like, you know, so it's very rare that you have men that embrace that. You know, I think a lot of men may be intimidated by that.
Intimidated by it. I know
Mhm.
I've gotten into it with I mean, not like, you know, just not physically, but just, you know, and not a disrespectful verbal exchange, nothing like that. But I've had a few male attorneys, you know, think that they could just talk to me any type of way because I was a female. And I think that they were just taken aback when I just came out them the same way. And sometimes you have to do that just to position yourself to say, hey, you know, I'm not going to sit here and let you talk to me like that, because
You got to
maybe
check
that's
them,
what you're
right?
used to.
Right, Janine? You got to check
Yeah,
them. You got to check them.
you got to check them. And it's just like, you know, after that, it's like, we're fine. If I ever have a case with them in the future, which I've had, totally different respect level. But it's sad that we have to position ourselves like that in order to get the respect that we deserve. I mean, we went to law school just like they did. We passed the bar. We're out here hustling, representing our clients vigorously, and yet we still have to deal with discrimination. It's just crazy, honestly.
No, it's true. It's true. And, you know, and I think as a young female attorney starting out, you know, where you don't have your confidence, you don't have that name, you know, you don't have that respect yet, I think it's still very, very difficult, because at the end of the day, it's still an all boys club. I know when I go into the attorney lounge, there's very few women there. There's all men. So I go there, I do my work, and I leave. They don't really interact with me because it's sort of like the boys club. And, you know, we
Right.
don't really have a lot of things in common. You know, and I'm just really all about my work, but I can see how men are sometimes very intimidated by strong, powerful women. But that's
They
not going to
are.
stop us, Janine. That's not going to stop us at all. In fact, that just
Oh,
fuels our
absolutely
fire.
not. I mean, the people who know me best know that I am not going to keep my mouth shut. If something is wrong or if I see injustice, I mean, I'm going to call you out on it.
Yeah,
Period. I'm going to call
absolutely.
you out. Right,
Mhm.
wrong, or somewhere in between. But
I'm
and
gonna call
that's
you.
I
I'm
think
gonna call you the feisty freedom fighter.
I love it. I love it. I mean, this is I literally have found my true voice during this pandemic. And like you said, I want to empower women, I want to empower minorities, I want to bring about change. And the best way that I have found to do that over the past few months is by this platform and talking to other people, trying to bring us all together to do that. So as lawyers, what do you think that we can do to bring about change as far as criminal justice reform,
Mhm.
social reform, changes in the laws about how police deal with the public? What can we do?
So I think that as lawyers, we need to get more involved in politics, in Congress to change the laws, because the judges have to um, they have to abide by the law. So it's up to us to try to get involved, in the legislature, and voting. Voting is very important. I know we have a big election
Yes.
coming up, and you may not like either of them,
Yep.
but I encourage everyone to vote, because otherwise we have no voice whatsoever. But I mean, I think we cannot back down. And I think we need to go to community board meetings to express how we feel. And it starts locally, then it can get more national. Like one of my role models is Yandy Smith. She
Yes.
she is right there. She's getting arrested for, civil
Right. In
disobedience and
Louisville
everything. But
for Breonna Taylor. She's down there
yeah,
with Until Freedom.
yeah, like things like that, peaceful protests, no violence, but peaceful protesting. And really, she's just amazing. I remember when there was a federal jail in Brooklyn was, they had no lights, no food, not food, but like it was freezing out there for several days. And,
Right.
she didn't even have a loved one in there, but she was out protesting because it was inhuman, like the conditions they had to I think if you and I had more times, we would be right there with Yandy as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been out here, when the George Floyd protests were going on, I was, right there with them because I'm like, I cannot stand idly by. I have an
Right.
18-year-old son who, I want to be able to walk down the street, drive his car, go for a jog without the fear of being, pulled over by the police or gunned down by some vigilante who thinks he's committing a crime when he's not. So, that's my, you know, that's my reason
Fear,
for,
right?
getting involved. I have a personal investment in this. So, and I want to give back. I want to, empower, like you said, younger attorneys, younger female attorneys. Don't be afraid to use your voice.
Voice.
Like you said, a lot of men are intimidated by women who are outspoken, who have opinions. But it doesn't mean that, we're trying to just, run the world. We just want our equal place in the world at the end of the day. We want the respect. We want the pay. And that brings me to, an icon in the legal community that we lost yesterday, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I mean, she was a trailblazer. And, when I got the news that she had passed away, it's just like I felt literally my heart sank.
So her nickname was the Notorious RGB, right?
Yes.
And let me tell you, she was my favorite. She was truly a crusader for women's rights. And I remember her
Yes.
being a young attorney in the ACLU, fighting, for equality, for gender,
Gender equality, right.
She was just, and she came from Brooklyn. She was born and bred in Brooklyn. She came from a very, very poor family. And she was girly when she was growing up. She was like a cheerleader. And then, in law school, she just had a lot of, I remember her husband had, her future husband had cancer, and she like really, took care of him. You know, she had a family and she was, I
Right.
think, in Harvard Law School. She would,
Yes.
they always told her that, like, you're taking a seat for a man. So that when she was in Harvard Law School, like, there was only 5 females when she went to Harvard Law School. And they used to make fun of her and like really bully her because like she was taking the seat of a man. I mean, that's like crazy, right?
Crazy.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, she was a trailblazer. I mean, and she was one of the key individuals that was instrumental when President Obama was in the office, for signing the Equal Pay Act. I mean, and it's ridiculous that we have to have an executive order that gives women the right to receive equal pay for the same job that a male counterpart does. It's crazy, but this is the world we live in. This is America.
Yeah, and she was only the second woman on the Supreme Court.
Yes,
I can't even wait to find out who her replacement is going to be.
I'm afraid of who her replacement is going to be. I mean, in the 231 years of the existence of the Supreme Court, she was the second female attorney that was nominated and confirmed to that position. We have Sonia Montier, right. And there has and then there have been two black male who have been Supreme Court justices, and zero black females. Not one African American female has ever sat on the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
Listen, you're still young. You can still do it.
No. I somebody else mentioned that, me being a judge, I'm like, nope, that is not my calling. I can tell you right now.
I know you.
I'm gonna have to find another way to make some changes with the law. But no, I mean, it's sad and it's interesting, who is going to, replace, RBG. And like I said, I'm just, I'm afraid. I hope there's some way we can.
Do you know that, like, right before, like she never missed an oral argument fighting, cancer.
Right.
And that she used to work out every day, and that she could lift more weights than 2 of her Supreme Court fellow justices. So that's amazing.
That is amazing.
She's a petite little lady
yes.
that was so strong physically and mentally.
And mentally, I was just gonna say, your mental state controls everything else that you do. Like you said, she was very, very a petite woman, but I mean, she had a fire and a passion in her that was just unmeasurable. She is definitely going to be missed. I mean, like I said, she paved the way for you and I. So just want to, give honor and respect to her memory as far as that's concerned. So, and I want to talk about entrepreneurship. I know you are heavily involved with Market America, and I think that you just received some awards recently.
Yes.
Yes.
So so actually I got involved in Market America through like my brother, Fat Joe. So when he approached me with the business, right, I was, like you, just everything was law. I had no social life. Everything was just like, defending my clients, going to court, going to trial. And when he approached me with the business about 6 years ago, I'm like, oh my God, Joe, are you kidding me? Like, I have no time now. And he's like, this is exactly why you need to be in Market America, because you need not only financial freedom, you need time freedom. You need time to, do all the things that we live for. Right now, it's like, before the pandemic, I was on trial every day. Like, I didn't have time to breathe, let alone, get a good night's sleep. So it's very important for everybody, to have multiple streams of income, to make money while you sleep, for that leverage, for that residual income, because we don't have enough money to buy like, a McDonald's franchise or a building. So we need to do things that are going to be able to create, that kind of passive income. And let me tell you something, during the pandemic, a lot of lawyers were suffering. They had courts were closed, the jails were closed. And thank God for, Market America, that I was still receiving my weekly checks And I didn't have to do anything because everything was like Market America is basically shopping online to get a residual income. It's like a shopping annuity to buy things and who doesn't love to buy stuff, right?
Right.
And then with the pandemic, we couldn't go out. We couldn't go out, to shop. So everything was online. So I made a killing, right? A killing in my other business, which was Market America Shop.com.
Wow.
Because everybody was buying off online.
Online.
Yeah, and especially products for immunity, and just even simply groceries. Who wants to go outside, and be exposed to that? So it's so important as a business owner, because all my life I always wanted to have my own business. But having my own business, you're a slave to your own business, right?
You are, yes.
And you're only as good as your last case. So if I don't go to work, like, I don't get paid. So
right.
So what we all need is we need other avenues to make money. And as I've grown older, I've realized that, I can't be doing trials till I'm 90 years old,
right.
Although we may love to do that, but, eventually, we have to really find ways to make money that don't involve just, trading time for money. So that's what I love about
right.
And what I love about the business also is that I meet incredible people, and I've won this chairman's challenge like 13 consecutive times, and I'm the busiest person in the world.
Wow,
but you
awesome.
make time for what is important, and I know that affecting lives and trying to give people the opportunity to make money and to help my team is so important. And it just goes to show you that because I can win all these awards, I think out of the 200,000 or 250,000 people in the company, only 8 people during the pandemic got this very prestigious award. So I was one of them. And that just shows that even you can be successful in the company, even if you're extremely busy. So that's why I'm very proud of that award.
That is awesome. Well, congratulations on that. So tell everybody, how can they, if they want to get involved with Market America, how can they do that?
So they just can, just DM me, or they can call me. I'm, in the phone book,
Google her. Google is a beautiful tool.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And her website is awesome. You can't miss it. So yeah, please reach out to, to Dawn regarding that. I mean, I probably need to connect with you on that.
So Janine, I love this forum that you have. I mean, I think that you could be like the next Oprah, right? No, I mean, why not? Like, you should do a podcast. That's the wave of the future. Now, doing podcasts. I mean, this is a great forum, and you really need to. And you're a great interviewer too, and that's a hard quality, to get people to open up, to ask the right questions. That's very, very, you have this unique talent, so and I encourage you to keep doing this, with all the people.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I mean, I felt the need to talk more during the pandemic, because I think that like you said, everybody was shut in. I was here with my kids, but they're teenagers, and they weren't trying to converse with me. So I mean, I have found over the past few months that I want to learn about other people. I want to absorb knowledge, and the best way to do that is to talk to people and ask questions, right? So I'm glad that you are enjoying the my platform as well as everybody else. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll have to talk later because I'm blushing now. I love you. All right, so let's get to some questions, because we have about 10 more minutes, and get some shout outs. Can you see them on your end as well?
Yes, I can. Hi, everybody.
All right, let's see. I'm going to try and go back. I know Aurora G was on. I already gave a shout out to her. Team LA.
That's my business partner, Team LA. Yep.
Yes.
And Market America, he's killing it right now, really killing it.
Well, shout out to you too. That is awesome. We have See the goat too. He said, "Hey Don, we love you," or he or she.
Oh,
Cheyenne 69 Mathis. She said 69 attorney. Yes, she is. Mooch Kanjai. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Please forgive me. She said, "Dawn, you are amazing." Let's see. I'm looking for questions. Cheyenne 69 Mathis said, "I was wondering how they would present evidence." I think she was talking about during a Zoom trial.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
So
think
yeah,
we addressed that.
so basically, you know, in a Zoom trial, that we don't have the only way you can have a Zoom trial is if the parties consent. But I know that prosecutors as well as defense attorneys were not consenting to Zoom trial. We want, like you said, Janine, we want to do it in person. We want to be able to let the jury see the credibility of the witnesses. We want to look them in the eye. We want to do our thing by walking around and, you know, do our our cross-examination very,
Right.
forcefully. So you really can't do that on Zoom. You have to sit down and, I can't. I have to move around. I can't sit still. So no, like with like you would present evidence just like everything else. But that's a good question. Like, what if you like have a gun? How are we going to examine the gun as evidence?
Exactly. You're
know?
just gonna see it. I mean, it just doesn't have the same effect. Absolutely. And we have Gemini Twist. She is my one of my best friends from law school. Hey Kim, she said, "Great interview, ladies." Let's see, Players Club, MCR, Go Dawn. We respect you all. We will support you all the way. And I know we had a question that somebody asked about what was the hardest part about Danny's trial.
So, I mean, Danny had to sit on the stand for 3 days and be interrogated. Okay.
Wow.
I think that the hardest part was what now he's going through now. Okay. Because all the other stuff, and I'm very proud of Danny. Like, I will never back down on that. A lot
Right.
of people, I've gotten a lot of grief from a lot of artists and a lot of friends of mine in the entertainment, arena because I represented someone who snitched or was a rat, right? But like we said, we have to do what we have to do for our clients.
Exactly.
And I think the hardest thing is for me, it's like worrying about his safety. And he takes the position like, how can you like live if you're always in fear? But as his friend, as his second mom, I do worry about his safety, and I do worry about everything that is going to transpire. And it does bother me a lot that he's being blackballed, because an artist, that's your music, that's your craft, right? And just because you try to do what's best for yourself, right? Because at the end of the year, are you really going to do 47 years for people who tried to murder you, steal all your money and sleep with your child's mom? I couldn't speak out when everything was going on because, we had that confidentiality, but now the trial is over and he's been sentenced, and I support him 100%. And I don't care what anyone thinks of me, but, he did what he had to do, and I respect him for that.
Right. And like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to, give like your clients the best advice that you can give. And at the end of the day, our clients have to do what's in their best interest at the end of the day. And what they feel is right.
I said, I always wanted to know what Fat Joe thought about you representing Daddy.
Who said that?
I'm not sure, but I see that question right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean, and let me ask you this, because you've represented other celebrities in the past, such as Remy Ma, and Fat Joe. So I know that, those are not their real names. A lot of times, their entertainment names are their personas, right? So do you find yourself dealing with the persona, or the person, or is it a mixture? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I always deal with the person, not the persona, because each individual person has their own legal issues that we have to deal with. And the persona is for entertainment. It's to sell records. It's to make money. Okay.
Right.
And just to get back to that question, that, like, what does Fat Joe think about it? Well, Fat Joe is an OG. He doesn't believe in cooperation. He doesn't believe in that. So as his sister, of course, he was very concerned how would it impact my career. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm going to be fine. And I really don't care what other people think. My obligation is to my client, and I'm going to represent my client to the fullest, hard body, with no trepidation. So yes, was he not happy? Of course he was not happy, because he doesn't believe in that. And a lot of people don't believe in cooperating. But at the end of the day, we're like, we have to give our advice, and we have to go with what our client wants to do. And so if a client wants to cooperate, listen, there are so many lawyers that would never admit that they represent cooperators. They'll never admit it, but we all do, especially if you're federal court. So come on. And all these rappers that are the first to condemn people who cooperated, they've cooperated themselves, but they keep it silent. You know, and we, of course, as attorneys, we have to keep that secret.
We have to keep it confidential.
Confidentiality. But come on, you know who you are, and you're the first people to condemn when people cooperate, you know? So this street code, you know, unfortunately, it's just affecting people because they get blackballed, and they get, you know, it's just crazy how, you know, you could have like a hit song, but you can't get like that #1 slot, and the radios won't play you because you cooperated.
That's just crazy. And I mean, I know his entertainment attorney, Bob Celestin.
Yes, and we love Bob.
Yep, we love Bob. I mean, you know, and I know that you guys were working together once Danny was released, in order for him to start being able to get back in the music industry. So, you know, I just wish everybody all the best. And, you know, we're not here to judge at the end of the day. You know, everybody has their own life to live. You know, all we can try to do at the end of the day is live it to the best of our ability, because we have to answer to God and nobody else. And that's just how 100%. I see it.
That's right. And only God can judge us. Like no one else matters. Only God can judge us. And as long as you speak your truth, and as long as you're comfortable with what you do, more power to you.
Exactly. Well, Dawn, we have about 3 more minutes.
Oh,
is
no,
there any?
Yes,
I know. But
a great
look,
time.
My sister, you can come back. You are welcome back anytime. We are going to have you back again. Trust me. This is not a finale.
I really, really enjoyed it, and you're such a vibe, you know, Janine. You really are. Like, you're such a vibe. Like, you are like, have so much energy, passion, and you know, I would love one day to sit down, and we've never actually met before, but I feel like you're my soul sister for real.
I know. We talked about this yesterday. As soon as it's safe, you're going to come here. I'm coming up to NYC because it's one of my favorite cities. Yes, we are sisters-in-law, and we're sisters, soul sisters, forever. Like, definitely. And again, I just want to shout out to Aurora G for,
yes, you know, Aurora, we love you.
We love you. Thank you for the connection.
Please pray for my best friend, Chrissy Monroe. She's in the hospital right now. Please, prayers up for her. I love her so much.
Absolutely.
And please, everybody, if you could say a prayer for her, I really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I also want to do a quick shout out to Jamie Foster Brown, my mentor.
Yes, Jamie.
Hello, all my friends and family and followers that you know continue to support me. I truly appreciate you guys. Like I said, I mean, I'm just on here doing this because God just put it in my heart, and wherever it leads, then so be it. But I just enjoy, you know, talking, you know, to you know, the different people, spreading knowledge, hoping that our stories will, you know, impact somebody else, or just, you know, to explain how the law and life always collide on a daily basis. Right. So Dawn, thank you so much
one other thing I want to say, like, know your rights. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. What do you want to leave our viewers with?
For an attorney, never speak to the police. They are not your friends under any circumstances, and be careful what you post on social media, because most of the RICO racketeering cases start with posting gang, you know, signs, posting, you know, money, posting guns on social media. And you have to be careful who you associate with, because the federal government does not play. And that's how they build their cases. They actually start by looking at everyone's social media. So be careful what you post, be careful who you're around, because, and also never do stuff, you know, on the street, because there's video cameras and video surveillance
everywhere.
And be careful.
Or you don't know who's videotaping you.
Yes, and be careful what you say on the phone, because there's wiretaps, and you, even though you may not be the subject of a wiretap, you can get caught.
I'm sorry, we got 5 seconds.
Bye.
I'm sorry.
Don't talk to
Love you. Follow Dawn on
Bye.
Instagram, Dawn Florio. Love you, Dawn.
Dawn